Welcome back to our Game Engines Showcase series. This week, a fan favorite, Godot. We are Ask Gamedev, aka the open source Surer's apprentice, aka Godot in the shell, aka Godon't you forget about me. And these are 9 awesome games made using Godot. Before we begin, a very brief crash course on the Godot engine first. Becoming available publicly for the first time in 2014, this particular game engine has been used and developed by many studios as a way to break into the industry. Why? Because it's mainly open source, which means yes, some of the mandatory procedures that you typically use with licensed game engines are no longer necessary. No more saving data assets on proprietary cloud services if you need to upload them online, for example, and no revenue caps to worry about for established game development companies. Let's begin. Number 1. Tanks of Freedom by P1X. Tanks of Freedom is a turn-based strategy game developed by P1X that features isometric pixel art. You move your individual units around cells, and your objective is to clear a path in order to capture more bases than your enemy. It's essentially Advanced Wars in style, but with a simpler yet unique gameplay twist. First unveiled in 2015, the game has been in continued development even as it was officially released for play, with various important updates. The game is at the moment open source, which means other developers can come on in and present their own ideas to improve its gameplay. Another reason to like Tanks of Freedom? It's completely free, and it's available for both the PC and Android devices. Number 2. Stereobreak by Hugo Raygoza. Stereobreak was the very recent brainchild of developer Hugo Raygoza, also known as Jaspec. The genre of the game is essentially a shooter, but instead of flying around freely around the screen, you instead move around in designated tiles. Any gamers who know the Mega Man Battle Network series should find this move and hop style of active motion very familiar, even down to the patterned shooting combat between different enemy targets. The game was first released in March of this year, and this was Hugo's debut title using the Godot engine. A fascinating point of his design of the game is how the AI is built to attempt to predict the player's actions, not just in a directive way, but disruptively. Bullet patterns will force the player to move to the farthest tile, for example, or attacks will linger around to prevent you from moving on a tile. Worse, each difficulty is vastly different from the next, with hard mode only allowing you one single chance to miss before you finally bite the bullet. A fast-paced title that would probably be one that would tire out your fingers, it is highly recommended to check out the demo just to see how addicting its simple style can get. Get it now for Android. Number 3. Steveno Arcade by For All to Play. Steveno Arcade takes the rather boring mechanics of Steno tutorial programs into a rad medley that honestly could compete with the likes of actual mainstream rhythm games like Guitar Hero. This isn't just a glorified chimera of a rhythm game and a typing game. Its cute retro graphic concert visuals have some real serious tunes from the one and only geek-themed maestro, Jonathan Coulton. Started as a crowd-funded project in 2016 under the same name, Steno Hero, it eventually got an early sneak preview via Steam Early Access later that same year. It actually consists of 4 different games, a suite of them, all built to be played optimally on Steno machines. While it is currently available only for PC, it is completely free and open source. Oh, if you happen to not have a Steno machine randomly lying around your place, don't fret. Steveno Arcade is also designed to be played normally, using any regular keyboard, at least with the game's slower and less upbeat tunes. For the faster medleys designed for advanced Steno practice, it's definitely, even absolutely required to have your own machine. Number 4. Deep Sixth by LRD Games, Inc. Deep Sixth takes you far into the fringes of outer space. You as the player, a convicted AI criminal, have been penalized to serve and maintain a spaceship for an indefinite period of time. This particular spaceship is not exactly up to snuff. It is in dire need of repairs, not to mention the plethora of things in and around it that will make your attempts to preserve it and save it go completely awry, and we haven't even mentioned the space monsters. With Deep Sixth, LRD Games perfects its own style of management sim further since the release of its first game, Rogue State. Itching to check out your hyperdrive matrix or fiddle around the scanner room to check out nearby sectors? Deep Sixth is the game for you. Currently available on Steam, it is as of this moment only available for the PC. Number 5. SpookyGhosts.com by Grizzly Wizard Games. SpookyGhosts.com is a cute, run-and-gun Metroidvania game that lets players mow down the undead with Ruby, who runs the eponymous website in offer of such services. Platforming action is pretty much spot on for this game, but the highlight, of course, is the neo-retro style art, bundled with a traversing progression system that gives players the drive to explore its entire world. The main core of the game was developed by pixel artist Justin Forcier, released under the official brand Grizzly Wizard Games. This particular game was in fact his second game after developing the web-based Space Lich Omega 2. If you're interested in spooks and shoots while exploring a world where cats, gargantuan and small, ask for your assistance, then this Godot engine-based game is a must-try. Number 6. Seek et Live by Rokas. Seek et Live is a rather bizarre game that mixes tic-tac-toe with dungeon crawling elements. Basically, you progress through the game with a series of interactive 3x3 tiles. You move around to obtain items, defeat enemies, and move forward with the story. On top of that, there is this almost lyrical poem that tries to tell a story within its equally enigmatic premise. Rokas, the developer of Seek et Live, built the game in 2017 from the idea of a puzzle game with typical adventure story components. Ideally, the game had to be simple, and it seemed that his idea was to encase the experience into a 3x3 tile format. With the environment limited in size, there was a particular level of focus for interactions and 8-bit visual styles, which then became able to convey the game's mechanics without the need to directly explain it to the player. The poetry in particular almost sings to the player, and in a way they are, because for the most part, they're written as song lyrics. Seek et Live is exactly the minimalist, experimental, oddly cool puzzle game that it is advertised to be. So check it out on either Windows, Linux, or Mac. Number 7. Gramante by Aftermonk. Gramante is a strategy game by Aftermonk that features a very simple tabletop-style defense design that pits the player's hero tiles against a never-ending horde of monster tiles. As the game advertises, your goal is simple: obliterate them and prevent them from getting to the bottom. You get a different mishmash of tiled heroes every stage, each having their signature symbol and move that you can take advantage of to clear your one and only objective. Jeff, the lone developer behind Aftermonk, was inspired to create the game when he first discovered the Godot engine in 2017. Interested in the engine's building potential specifically towards mechanics and technical challenges with its comparative ease of use, he set out to conceptualize and create. He finally released the game on Steam earlier this year. Simple to play, yet surprisingly comprehensive and addicting, Gramante is the puzzle strategy game that will tingle either your nostalgia or cultivate a new interest into action tabletop goodness. Number 8. Shipwreck by Schmelliork. At a quick glance, Shipwreck may look like a cute 32-bit version of Minecraft, but the game actually places you as the manager of a crashed spaceship on an alien planet, trying to survive by living off the resources of the specific area that you crashed into. Like all sim games, Shipwreck starts out small, with the crashed spaceship only gathering materials around its area. A few selections are open for the player to allocate services and establishments, which would then serve as the nucleus of the colony. In time, the map expands as you survive longer, opening up even more options for you to further keep your crashed colony living longer. The main core of the game is currently completed and released, although it is still in development for future updates and features, as well as system fixes. With fundamental elements reminiscent of both RimWorld and SimCity, Shipwreck builds itself a solid platform for a cute, retro pixel graphic game. The title is currently available on Windows, Linux, and OS X. Before we get to our final pick, here are 3 honorable mentions. Number 1. Monstrous by Arnaud Millot. Monstrous by Arnaud Millot takes honorable mention for its unique take on a traditional RPG boss fight scene. If you're clever enough, you'll be able to take down the monster before your party gets taken out. Number 2. RPG in a Box by Justin Arnold. RPG in a Box by Justin Arnold isn't another RPG-themed title, but instead is a creator and engine itself. Still in alpha, so it takes the honorable mention spot. And lastly, number 3, Rivendell's Defense by Kivano. Rivendell's Defense by Kivano is a very cute and colorful tower defense game. Also, check out this week's Ask Gamedev community member Game of the Week, Fluffy Horde by Turtlejuice. Fluffy Horde is a 2D side-scrolling hybrid between real-time strategy and tower defense that just oozes style. It was developed by a group of 7 friends over the course of almost 3 years using Unity. One cool thing about Fluffy Horde was that the game was heavily influenced by its community during development. Fans helped in creating mechanics, designing levels, and even writing lines for the cinematics. And finally, number 9, The Interactive Adventures of Dog Mendoza and Pizza Boy by Occam Studio. Fans of classic point-and-click adventure games will surely find The Interactive Adventures of Dog Mendoza and Pizza Boy a nice treat to play and watch. In this game, you play as Pizza Boy, who is, yes, an ex-pizza delivery boy turned private sleuth. He is set out to investigate a trail of supernatural clues to find out once and for all the truth behind the disappearance of your boss and partner, as well as other cases that surround the surreal world of this particular series. The Argentina-based Occam Studio started the game as a Kickstarter project, amassing most of the target funding by October 2014. The development team then spent the next 2 years working very closely with the original comic book authors in order to give a faithful adaptation that would bring the original material to life. The comic book authentic HD visuals gives a very nice contrast to the point-and-click games of the old, as it also captivates players with its nice details. A highly recommended Godot engine-based game, The Interactive Adventures of Dog Mendoza and Pizza Boy is available for the PC and OS X. Want more Ask Gamedev? Check out this Game Engine Showcase video or this Game Engine video playlist. Thanks again for watching.